dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey podcast, episode 231. Good evening. How are you, Chris?
I'm great. How the hell are you doing?
Fantastic. Still on the trail hero high.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of went... it was funny about Trail Hero. You know, obviously I didn't go. It was chaos at work, as always for me, it appears. But one of the things I did notice is that you weren't really posting anything original. You were doing a lot of reposts from other people's posts in your gang of your posse, if you will. Mm-hmm. But I know you were obviously having a grand old time down there, which we'll hear about shortly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just interesting. I didn't talk to you. I think I talked to you once during the week.
Once. And I talked to my mother once, so don't feel bad.
Well, that's all right. I was wrapped up in my own, life of shit going on. So, I do want to get down to Trail Hero, and hopefully things will settle down a little bit here in the future. I know that the listeners are, groaning and moaning and whatever about Chris not participating, but the reality is I do have a life beyond this podcast and responsibilities and whatnot. But one of the things that I've been doing is banking a ton of vacation hours, which is great. So I'm obviously going to use some of those when we come up on King of the Hammers, which is I saw a post. It's gonna be like less than 90 days away when this episode drops.
Oh yeah, it's coming. I think Dolly's already got the campsite set up.
She's there.
She's there for the rookie program, the Wookiee program right now.
I don't know. She hit the road for like 2 weeks solo, and I know that Amber.
God bless her. That's freaking awesome.
Right.
So, I mean, I love it because. You think, there's people that wouldn't travel alone, right? And she doesn't have to travel alone, but she chose to and make it happen. She wanted to do all this stuff and be down there for that. And, I gotta attribute it to, running the Rebel Rally, right? Like, it's very empowering for them, the women to go out there and do all that stuff. And it's freaking great. Absolutely. And I love it. And to see her doing this, I'm super excited for her. I talked to her the other day, and she was telling me about the whole trip, and I'm like, oh, that sounds freaking awesome, Dolly. She goes, well, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, don't be nervous. It's fucking awesome. Go. Run with it.
Go. Have a ball. So she's heading down, went to Johnson Valley, saw the rookie program, and then I guess she's, hanging out down there, and then she's ultimately going to end up at SEMA in Las Vegas, which starts next week.
Yeah, Eric's going to join her, so that's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
So, yeah, good for her, and that's just awesome. So, and she's cruising in the Vehicross. The Vehicross. The one that's all dressed up with Jesse Combs and whatnot, and the Rebel Rally. So that's awesome.
She's sending it. I love it.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's there's a ton going on. So, looking forward to getting down to King of the Hammers in late January, early February. I know there's a lot of anticipation, but before we get there, we have a little bit of business to conduct. Well, not much, and then we're gonna have you regurgitate, if you will, all of your Trail Hero nonsensical fun. And it's not nonsensical fun; it's just fun on high, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's good. I can't talk about everything, but I'll talk about what I can talk about. It was great.
Right. Well, I know you did a shit ton of wheeling, and obviously you ate well, and you hung out with a great crowd of people, and you played golf, and you freaking ate.
It had everything. And everything I love to do. Stuff, so other than skiing. If they had a fucking ski resort there, it would be like the ultimate vacay.
Suggest it, and maybe Rich Klein will drop that on you and say, make it happen, dude.
They're getting big enough. They could probably bring in a Hollywood snow machine and get a ski slope going. And then Glenn Plake, myself, and we'll get John Himble, who's was the fastest man on skis, 152 or 155 miles an hour. He will be on the podcast. I was supposed to connect with him down there. Didn't happen. But anyways, Yeah, we got a few skiers that attend that event, so it'd be good.
We'll get Warren Miller to film the whole thing and be set.
Well, not Warren Miller because he's no longer with us.
Well, the Warren Miller Productions, anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of. Oh, we'll see. We'll see the new movies coming out here. That's like gets you fired up for the ski season.
Oh, always.
But Warren Miller's voice and commentary was absolutely priceless. Johnny Mosley does it now.
Oh,
and
he
does a good job, but you can't replace Warren Miller. That was epic. Okay, let's move on. I do have a little follow up. You remember when I did my little rant about people calling me boss?
Yeah,
you go up to I was at the store and they go, all right, boss, we got you taken care of or whatever, So we had a listener write in.
Go ahead, boss.
Thanks. Well, apparently it's like bless your heart, It's one of those derogatory sayings. So I didn't know this. So Tommy D wrote in from Texas. He says, Tejas. He said, more info on the rant of being called boss. I'm a correctional officer in Texas. From the inmates, I asked on why they call us boss. Stands for stupid son of a bitch backwards.
Well, there you go. Bless your heart.
So anytime I get called boss outside of work, I just assume that they're an ex-inmate. So I am going to follow up with this because there is a local place here that will remain unnamed, and there's a gentleman there that's tatted up that could have possibly been an ex-inmate, if you're going to stereotype. And I'm going to ask him what boss stands for. I'm gonna ask him what boss stands for, and if he says stupid sons of a bitch.
You an ex-con, bro? Yeah,
how
boss.
great is that? I love this shit. So hey, thanks for writing in, Tommy D. And yeah, that's a good one. So I just there's so much here to get caught up with, but that was one of the ones that was on my list.
Well, there you go. Right.
Okay.
On.
All right. All right. What do you got before I just regurgitate all this stuff?
Regurgitate? Please don't regurgitate on camera. So we did. I know we had a bunch of reviews, and I cut it off. We had one more that I didn't read. I want to just rattle this one off real quick. So we had from Joe 39916 via Apple Podcasts.
Is that a zip code?
I don't have a zip code, but
Lorenzo, where the hell is Lorenzo? Is he at your house? I haven't seen him in days.
He's in the backyard chomping away at the weeds.
Okay, I was going to say, because I haven't seen him here, and I was getting a little concerned. I called the CVI. He's not there. And, yeah, okay, well, that's good.
He did bitch me. I wanted to know where the hot tub was, and I said it's on order. And whatever.
Yeah, he's spoiled.
Yeah,
good luck with that.
So anyway, from Joe,
you better check your whiskey collection too, just to make sure he's staying off the wagon.
It's under lock and key. Dude.
Okay, good.
Great show, 5-star review. Great. It's titled "Great Show." Been listening since episode 1. Man, that's dedication, right? Oh yeah. There,
231 episodes. Good for you.
Right? Crazy. So very entertaining, good conversations about the stuff we enjoy. Great guests. It's even oh wow, it's even informative at times.
Yeah,
LOL.
how about
My favorite off-road podcast. Right on, man. Joe, thank you. That's super cool. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time writing in. We'd love to hear back from our listeners. It keeps us going, honestly, because there's days when you and I say, just F it, we're not going to do it anymore. And we get reviews like this, and that helps us out. Keep going.
Absolutely.
Because Lorenzo doesn't do it for us. So
no, he does. Well, we could get AI to do it, but whatever. So
hey, that's coming up. Yeah,
I know,
let's
right?
get a little AI. This could be AI right now. They don't even know.
They wouldn't know.
Right?
They wouldn't know. They'll never know. Hey, so Joe, if you haven't done it already, reach out to Jason on at Wheeling Wine Whiskey on the Instagram with a DM, and we'll get you a sticker in the mail, man. That'd be super cool.
Cool.
And rest of you listeners, if you like the show, write a review if you haven't already done it. Spread the word, spread the love. Tell people about the show so we can increase our listenership.
Yeah, I sent out like 5 stickers last week.
Right on.
I don't remember a Joe. I did a Brian. Let's see, there was a couple others. I don't know. I don't have that in front of me right now.
All right. Well, Joe, if you haven't done it already, reach out. That'd be super cool. We'll get you, because then you, if you, whatever rig, you didn't mention what rig you have, but we can get that sticker on your rig and you represent wherever you are in the world.
Represent. Yes.
Represent.
Hey, it's fun. I got to say, you know what, 4 years into this thing, it is fun seeing stickers on rigs. Out at Trail Hero, I saw a few rigs with stickers on it. And I go, hey, nice sticker. And they hear my voice, right? And they're like, Jason? I go, yeah. I'm like, oh, shit, right on. So it's pretty cool. Cool seeing it out in the wild. So, yeah, keep representing. I love it. All right, what else you got?
That's it. That's all I really got right now. I just wanted to get caught up on those, and I just wanted to kind of, before we start this regurgitation. So let's break into it. Let's talk about Trail Hero 2023.
What did you think about Trail Hero? Let's get your comments first.
Well, it was great. I wasn't there because it was great because I wasn't there. I would have been a downer.
No, you wouldn't have. You will make it one of these years, and I guarantee when you make it, you will never miss it again. I'm just saying.
You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to rent an Airbnb and just drive down there. Just whatever.
You don't need to rent an Airbnb. You can stay at the hotel, the bougie hotel right across the street, the Sand Hollow Resort.
Hot shower every night.
Exactly. They have a pool. They have a pool, and they got a pond out front. You know, natural spring.
Masseuse will come in and take care of me.
It is a legit. That's the cool thing about this is it's very family friendly, and the women that consider camping, you know, a hotel with no room service. Well, this does have room service and a hotel, a great restaurant, the golf courses. It's got everything. So, yeah, you know, I think you should bring the wife and spend a few days and check it out.
Well, you know, my wife's a school teacher, so that probably won't fly. But
well, she gets vacation time, right?
No.
Substitute teachers? What about substitute teachers? That's what substitute teachers are for.
You're misinformed. But
oh, okay.
I'll bring somebody else.
Okay.
I'll bring a friend.
Right. Let's get started with this. This is going south. All right, so. Day one, first hour, we got there.
Are we going to go?
No, we're not.
6 hours.
I'm going to hit the highlights, and they might not be in order. So sue me if you were there and wheeled and stuff with us. It may not be in order, but I've got some notes here on my phone because as I've gotten older, I can't remember shit, so I got to write shit down on my phone.
So is day one like official, like Trail Hero day one, or day one when you got there, day one?
No. I'm just, like I say, this is random order. But we will start with the golf tournament. Let's start there because that was Monday, and that's officially day one.
Do we need to top off our beverages?
Do you want to start from when James and I said, oh, we're going to take it easy and just hit some 5-6 rated trails, and we end up on a 9-10 rated trail? And let's backtrack.
Now that you mentioned that, let's backtrack that a little bit, Nick. Just really quick, explain what the trail rating system is at Trail Hero. I know 2 years ago when we talked about it, we kind of gave a great report on that, but it's not 1 to 10; it's 1 to 15, right?
1 to 15. So, Sand Hollow is the resort. Trail Hero is the event. Right. 1 to 15 is the rating. So, a 15 rated trail is somebody that has done the trail, okay, like a trail breaker. That they have that event. The trail breaker is on a section of the mountain that has never been driven before. So that's a 15, and then when is it 5 people I believe have done it? It goes to a 14, and I don't know who keeps track of this shit. I think it's all gentlemen. Right? Like, oh, I ran it, because a lot of these guys, the locals, run them, and they know. So, and then it'll drop to a 13 when more than 5 people have ran it, but it will never go below a 13.
Okay.
So a 13 rated trail is basically 4-steer buggy shit. Okay. Drag axles
need not apply.
It gets crazy, dude. These cracks and stuff that go out there. I mean, this is just really extreme wheeling. Traction is extremely good, but I'll tell you.
You need to be able to make crazy turns and articulate and
yeah.
you need,
and you
need
watch,
to be able to turn
you
your ass. You need to be
you
able to
follow
turn your
these
ass.
4-steer buggies up some of these trails, you know, that are 10, 11, 12 rated. And they go up and they struggle, you know, it depending on, you know, right? It's the game of inches and luck, obviously, as part of it. And is your tire going to stick on that rock? Yes, no, maybe, who knows? But you watch some of these 4-steer buggies, you know, struggle, and then you're in a drag axle, and it's like you have to get that ass end set up to that line or crack or rock that you need to hit. And if you don't, you're fucked. So
you can't crab like they can or whatever.
No. So anyways, basically we were running, and I say we, it's like James and our group. We were running, you know, like 9, 10s, 11s. And it's like, you know, 12, we didn't want to get it. Although we did some 12s, but it wasn't recommended.
Okay.
But it's great. Anyways, that's the trail rating system out there. But the cool thing is, and I don't want to deter people from going out there. It's like, oh, well, I don't have a buggy and I don't have 40s on my Jeep or whatever. Or I got a Toyota. And if you got a Toyota, then you probably shouldn't even go to Sand Hollow. But anyways,
right.
You know, the great story is running like the Fallen, because it's a 9 rated trail if you do every obstacle, but you can go around all the obstacles. So we ran it with side-by-sides, semi-stock rigs to buggies, and everybody can go out, have a good time. Oh, you know, yeah, I want to try that obstacle, or no, I don't. And you can go around it and catch right up with everybody. So anyways, great freaking place. Okay, so let's go to Monday, golf tournament. For Four Wheel to Hill is the beneficiary.
Uh-huh.
So the golf tournament was a little bit different format this year. And being in the golf business and playing in a lot of charity events, it was okay. But we played...
okay.
Well, because 9 holes was on a pitch and putt golf course, which is nice.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
It's a good solid pitch and putt golf course. Now, like the longest hole is like 70 yards. So you literally need like a wedge and a putter. That's all you need. And James and I played it the year before, you know, one afternoon, and it was perfect. Grab a couple beers, grab 2 clubs, a wedge and a putter, and go out and bang around this golf ball. A lot of fun. But for a tournament, I know it's a charity deal, but it was, and here's the other thing, is there is a handful of golfers out there. Most people only play golf once a year at this event, so I get it. And then we played 9 holes on, they have 2 18-hole golf courses there, the championship and then the, I don't know, links course, whatever they call it. And we played 9 holes on the links, and it was fun. It was a great day. And it sped up the round, too, so that was good.
Right.
It's a scramble format.
Playing?
Well, they had you know, there was like a hard stop at 2 p.m. or something. So, but we finished in plenty of time. It was great. You know, they did the marshmallow long drive. So we started at the driving range, and they had these jumbo marshmallows, but I don't know where they had them, but they got hot and they were all melty and sticky and everything, and they couldn't pull them apart. They had numbers on them. So, you know, as you signed up, you know, you put down your name by a number, like Chris Maines, number 12, Jason Green, you know, whatever. So
frozen it while you should have.
So they're like, okay, number 12, Chris Maines, and you grab your marshmallow, and it's like, you could like hold it upside down and stick to your hand. So it obviously was kind of like stick to the club face. Nobody could set it on a tee. I had to take 3 tees to build a little bridge to set this marshmallow up on.
Perfect.
So anyways, it was fun. I mean, you know, so everybody hit at the same time. They did like odd numbers and then even numbers. And Big Pete was there, right? So Big Pete is... what, 6'8", 6'9", whatever.
He's a tall dude.
Big Pete lives up to his name, Big Pete. And he ended up winning the long drive. He like cartwheeled this fucking marshmallow. It like expanded to like the size of a 31-inch tire.
What the hell?
Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it did. It freaking expanded out the way he hit it, and it just cartwheeled and took off. He ended up winning. It was a $100 prize. Pete, being the classy guy he is, donated it back to Four Wheel Day Hills. So that was freaking awesome.
That's awesome.
And then they had this putting tournament. Same thing. Everybody had a numbered ball with what they signed up with. And we were in a big circle around one pin in the center that was, I don't know, 25, 35 feet away. It was a ridiculously long putt. And so, 3, 2, 1, everybody putts. Nobody made it. So then they took the ball that was the closest, which was like a couple inches away. And that guy won $100 and he donated it back. So I'm like, right on. This is freaking badass, right? And we went out and played. Great day. Had a lot of fun. And then that night was the opening ceremonies. And that's a blast because you're getting your ticket for the week and your concert tickets and all that stuff. And, meet and greet, right? Like everybody that's at the event is there and you get to talk to all these cool people. And
you have rigs on display too and all that?
There's rigs on display in this. They call it the Rock Bowl. So it's a very cool setting. It's got grass in the center, a stage, and then these huge red rock, mountain area. And so people go there, like Amber had her rig there. There's a lot of notable rigs in there. And
was Slosson's rig up there?
No, last year he had it, and then Rich Klein goes, "Hey, Randy, you need to move that up to the top of the deal." And that's when Randy looked at me and says, "Hey, you want to drive Gold Digger to the top there?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." So I got to crab walk Gold Digger to the top last year, but he didn't bring it this year to that event. Right. But there was a lot of cool rigs there, and it's just a fun event. And it kicks off the week. Everybody's excited. It's the beginning of the week and energetic, and you're not exhausted from going from sun up to way past sundown for 10 days straight.
Right.
So then Tuesday, runs are going, and I mean the event's in full swing. But we wheeled every day. We went out and wheeled every day. It was cool. Great, and we did trails, and the weather was good. We got a little rain on Friday, Saturday. Oh no, I should say Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it rained before the golf tournament. And I'm like, dude, rained last year. I hope it's not going to rain out. But it cleared out, and it was a nice day for the golf tournament. But so
what were the greens putting at? Were they like 10, 10 and a half, 11?
Yeah, in that range, I would say. I'd say they were a solid 10 on the stimp meter.
Nice.
Look that up if you're not a golfer.
Stimp meter. STIMP meter.
Edward Stimpson was the gentleman that invented that.
They have a new one now. It's improved, new and improved. But
anyway, so back to wheeling. So Big Pete has some friends out there in the side-by-side community that have broken trails, like created a lot of the trails out there. And he goes, "Hey, you want to go out with us?" And I'm like, yeah. And so James and I went and followed Pete out and we met up with this gentleman that is a bishop in
like a Catholic bishop.
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe Mormon because it's a big Mormon town. I don't know.
Oh, so a religious man.
A religious man. He's a bishop. And what was his name? Joe. I think his name was Joe. I'm going to go with Joe. Joe the bishop.
For $50?
Yeah. And he had a single seat. I want to say side-by-side, but technically it's not a side-by-side because it's a single seat, but a freaking, rubber band douche coupe.
With one seat.
With one seat. Just like Pete has. Pete just picked up his new rubber band douche coupe. That's absolutely fucking phenomenal. That thing is badass. He had it custom made for him because he's big. He had the seat moved back, custom cage, painted red. I mean, a candy apple red. That thing's badass. Anyways, so we go out there. So we meet up with Joe, and go, okay. He's kind of testing us. We had another rubber band douche coop with us, Roger. Roger's the father of Brooke that got married to Gavin, the Hannah's son.
Oh,
at the wedding.
And
Roger was out there last year. Yeah, Roger's good people. So Roger and his wife were out there with us. Anyways, he's like testing us. Like he's like, okay, let's go out, and then he's just kind of follow the leader, right? And we go on some, challenging terrain, and he's like, okay, you guys good? And then he went to another area, and I didn't see tire tracks because you see rubber like where people have gone before. There was no rubber on these rocks, and Pete told me we're going to go to some places where these locals go. It's all BLM land, so it's all 100% legal. It's all red rock, and you're going to go on some trails that are not marked. It's not on the map. So I'm like, okay, cool. And so I'm following them, and it's getting pretty Western in a hurry. And James and I are in radio contact, and Rhonda, and I'm like, okay, buckle up, buttercups, here we go. And we got into some gnarly terrain. He's like, all right, you guys are still doing good. And he just kept pushing the limits. He went
you
up
guys
this.
were like being tested by a bunch of side-by-sides?
Yeah. And we're in buggies, and we're freaking sending it, right? These side-by-sides are not your showroom floor side-by-sides, okay?
No, I didn't say they're were, but I'm just like
highly customized portals, badass fucking rigs. So he goes up this hill, this rock, and I look at it and I go, no, not going to do that. That's steeper than anything I've ever climbed
with
before.
Water in your tires?
That's steeper than anything I've ever climbed before. And I radio back to James. I'm like, dude. And he goes, you're first. And so I'm like, okay, I'll put tires on it. So I put tires on it, and I'm like, oh, it's like ready to launch, dude. Space shuttle shit.
Even when you almost flopped on Winchell 3 a few years ago?
Dude. It was freaking straight up and down. And I go, holy hell. And I just gave it a little throttle, and it grabbed. And then I gave it some more throttle, and it started going up. And I'm like, all right, you got to go now, because I ain't backing back down this fucking thing. And it crawled right up. And I'm like, holy crap. So then we're going around, all this other stuff. James did it, and I'm like, okay.
Did you suck down the front end at all? Or
nope.
Wow,
nope.
Really?
I didn't even have time to suck down the front end. I was so fucking scared. So then we go on this other stuff and these cool canyons and just really cool stuff. And we come off this one just like this, and he called this Can-Am. So, they had Polarises. So, it's the whole Toyota Jeep thing. Can-Am Polaris. So they called it Can-Am Hill, which I thought was funny. So we came down off this other ledge, and it was so steep, Chris, that I had a ice chest, on the back buggy rack.
On the rack, yeah.
And water was raining down on me. We were that inverted. So water was dumping out of the ice chest into the fucking driver's compartment, hitting the back of my fucking neck and head. And I'm like, oh shit, my radiator, but it was cold. I'm like, oh no, that's ice water, because we're freaking standing straight up and down. I mean, I'm putting it, I had it in front wheel drive only. So when I hit the bottom of this thing, if I've got to fucking throttle out, when in doubt, throttle out. And, I gave it a blip of the throttle, and the ass end came down, and off we went. But I was like, holy crap. So we did some extreme shit. It was one of those days. Again, every time I've been to Trail Hero and Sand Hollow, for that matter, just keep pushing the limits. And it's like, what can you do?
It sounds like that. I mean, I watched a lot of footage from Trail Hero, and even stuff from people that play there on a regular basis, whether they're locals or they're traveling down there. And I mean, it's like you said, mild to wild, and some of the wild shit is beyond wild. It's like, you know, you were talking about, and I'm sure you'll talk about it a little bit, but Trailbreaker. I mean, having difficulty just walking. I mean, these rigs drive these trails, but you know, walking on some of those trails that they do Trailbreaker on, you can't even do that.
So we came up on the Trailbreaker course the day before Trailbreaker. They had it all roped off, and you know, started setting up all the flags and stuff. They use the feather flags that they have to drive in between. And we're like, James and I walked it, and I mean, we were literally like rock climbing ourselves up these cracks and waterfalls and just gnarly terrain. I'm like, are they going forward or which way are they? Okay, they're going to go this way. We're trying to figure it out, right? Like you can start seeing the course. And then there was a couple competitors there that were telling us how it was going to go, and mind-boggling, dude. It's so much fun to watch them. I love that technical rock crawling, especially at that extreme level where they're, you know, you watch Dave Wong, you watch fucking John Himble, you watch Brasini and these guys and climbing and just the who's who in rock crawling, right? And Cody Wagner's out there. It's like these guys, you know, have these badass rigs and these driving skills, and they are flirting with gravity the whole time. And it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle that you got to try and figure out.
Say it's a puzzle of gravity and physics, you know.
And I love it, and it's cool. And there was some, you know, there was some consequences. There was some serious rollovers and stuff during that event, but it's fun to watch. So we, you know, it's just I love that event. It scares the shit out of me when I go out there on some of this stuff, but it makes me a better driver because it, you know, it's just like playing golf or any other freaking hobby or sport that you do. When you're with these top people at the top of their game in that profession or hobby or sport or whatever you're doing, you learn from these people, right? And if you don't learn, then you shouldn't be out there. You just, you know, but so I love it because it makes me a better wheeler every time I go out on every trail I go out with. And you know, I don't know why, but we're out there running with Randy Slauson and, you know, these top freaking drivers and just having a fucking ball. And it's like, I'm sitting here pinching myself going like, what am I doing here right now in this freaking, you know, extreme trail with these people? But it's fun. So
doors have been opened when you purchased your buggy, and of course the podcast has opened the other doors. And
for sure, you know, it's networking, right? It's just networking, and it's so much fun. And I gotta tell this story. This was fucking great. So one night, it was later in the week, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head over to the trade show. It was later in the afternoon, 4:00 or something, 3:30, 4:00. I go, I'm heading to the trade show. Oh, well, we're going on a trail, you know. Randy, James, Derek, all these guys are heading out. And I'm like, I'm going to the trade show. No, come out with us. I'm like, no, this never ends well. And so I'm like getting stuff in the buggy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the trade show. And so I forget who came over, but somebody came over. It goes, dude, just come out with us, and then you could peel off and go to the trade show. And that's the great thing about Sand Hollow is like trails. You can terminate almost any trail at any time. You could peel off to the sand dune and drive back to camp. It's like you're not on this set trail where there's one way in, one way out. Some canyons are like that, but most you can peel off or go to another trail or something. So I'm like, all right, I'll go out for, you know, an hour and then I'm going to peel off. Well, of course, that didn't happen, and we get on to, you know, Randy's track of joint effort to War Machine, and we're having a blast, and it's, you know, it's later afternoon, weather's great, and a couple of the guys that were wheeling with us, you know, are like, where are we going? And I go, oh, we're headed to War Machine. What's War Machine? That doesn't sound friendly. I'm like, no, it's pretty fucking gnarly. But I'm like, oh, it's fun, you know, just follow the guy in front of you. And so we get up there, and Randy's sitting, he's standing on top of this rock, on the top of this freaking ledge. It was just, I wish I recorded it. He goes, "This is a good group of guys. We're going to die out here tonight."
Great.
Sure as shit. Shortly after that, one of the Ultra 3 guy, you know the Ultra 3 guy, the Ultra 3 camp that camps below us at
right below
Hammers.
us.
So Derek Baker's there. Derek Baker's a fucking great guy. I love wheeling with him. He's just super chill. A lot of fun. I'm glad he joined us this year. So he's got an old buggy from Dave Cole. I mean, it's an old Hammers buggy. All right. Badass race buggy. And he just rolled over in this crack or this obstacle. And, you know, everything was fine. He wasn't even dumping. I mean, it's a race car, so it wasn't dumping any fuel or oil or anything. It was just laying on its side. But it took us like 20 minutes to recover it because James had to drive all the way around the mountain to get in position to roll him back over. And it was right after Randy said that. It was like, okay.
All right. Well, no
just
harm,
good
no
times.
foul.
So that turned in that did afternoon run turned into a night run. We had full lights on heading back to camp. So
night run.
Yeah. That was our only night run we did. We did a lot of early morning stuff because it got hot. And
you
I'll tell you,
didn't do any night runs.
I'll tell you, it was awesome being out there early morning. You know, waking up after going to bed a few hours before was a little rough, but getting out there early morning, it was cool. Nobody's on the trails. You know, the world was your oyster out there at Sand Hollow, and I highly recommend that. That was a lot of fun. So, anyways, okay, what else do I have here in my notes? Oh, Toby showed up to camp. Remember Toby? Toby.
Do you know Toby?
Toby. Remember Toby? Snivelus. He showed up with his freaking Ultra 4 car that he's been working on.
Yeah.
So I got to see that in person. Super freaking cool. Great craftsmanship.
4,400 or 4,800?
4,800, I believe. But he had this brake booster out of an Accord. And he has a whole thread on Irate 4x4 about this brake booster. It's an electric brake booster.
Wait. He had a brake booster from an Accord in an Ultra 4 car?
Yes. And so go read about it on Irate 4x4. All right. Toby, Stacy has this on there, and it is a great thread, and it's a super cool unit. And we were talking about it extensively, but it's a great option for our rock crawling, rock buggy world. It's not hydraulic, so it doesn't have to run off the pump. It's just it's electric, and it's pretty badass. I think it's a game changer. I want to learn more about it, but yeah, very, very freaking cool.
Well, he is an engineer and has an engineering
exactly,
mind,
and that was the cool thing. He's got some mad skills, and it was fun talking to him and seeing him again. So, shout out to Toby there.
Who?
Toby.
Who?
Toby. Hey, I met Logan from West Desert Wheeler too.
You did?
He was doing media, and I was down in the during Trailbreaker, and I go, oh shit, this is Logan from West Desert Wheeler. So, shout out to him. Let's see, who else did we see here? Oh, oh boy.
Oh, you're chuckling up a storm.
Well, I got a couple notes here that I can't repeat. It was just highly entertaining, right? It was like never a dull moment. Our camp was lively. We had wreck gear there. We had Bronson and Jess roll in.
Oh, they're great people.
We were stacked. I mean, it was tough. It was like some people were getting pissed off because they couldn't park next to their camper with their rig because it got so crowded. Well, it kind of sucks, You want to pull up next to your rig. You got your campsite set up, but we shuffle shit around at work.
How big was the camp? Was it like an acre, half an acre,
no,
quarter acre?
it's tiny. I mean, compared to Hammers, it was tiny, but I don't know. It was 25,000 square feet.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, not that much. It wasn't even a half acre because an acre is 43,560. So,
wow, that's pretty specific.
15,000 square feet. How about that?
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. But it was fun. So Tom, Rosa, and Lenny were there. Lenny LePage. Dude, that was fun having them there. I love first-timers to Trail Hero and going out. They were just, wide-eyed and like, holy crap, this place is awesome. And Tom is just such a happy-go-lucky guy. He's sending this CJ5. There's a wheel up in the air every freaking 2 seconds in that rig. So it was fun going out and wheeling with him. Unfortunately, he put what did he say? He put a fan through the radiator on Twister. But he goes, my fan and radiator had a non-consensual relationship.
Wow.
And then Lenny broke an axle, but that ended up beneficial because he went to the Yukon booth and got all new axles and stub shafts for the front end. So there you go. Upgrade. Nice little upgrade there.
Right. Hey, while you've been talking, I really quickly looked up Snivelus's Ultra 4 car that he built. And just looking at the number and the shock package on it, it's a 4400 car.
Is it?
Yeah, it's got bypasses and coilovers, and they're not attached to the axles, and it's a 4400 car.
Okay, all right.
Because I know that Toby would contact us and correct us, so I want to make sure that we have the correct information.
Well, that's right. We're not the Snail Trail podcast. We like to present the right information here.
So that's a 4400 car, Snivel or Toby. That looks badass, man.
It's cool. It is cool.
He's going to race that at KOH?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to that. Sorry to derail your little chat.
No.
Sure we have the correct information.
No, that's good. That's good. So let's see. I've got some other notes here. Jeremy. Shout out to Jeremy. He's a Nightcrawler from Kentucky.
Ooh, drove all the way from Kentucky.
Yeah, and so met him at the trade show. He's a huge fan of the podcast.
Awesome.
So I had the stickers out there when we were, peddling the Element fire extinguishers and stuff. And Andy was his friend that was there. Uh-huh. And Jeremy goes, "Hey, can you sign the sticker?" I go, "Really?" So I signed my name next to me on the sticker. And he put it up. I posted it up on IG a little bit ago. But yeah, that was freaking hilarious. And then we had Christian and RC that came by, and another big fans of the podcast. So got a picture with them. So it's fun working the trade show. Johnny had a killer freaking booth, the dirtbag booth there. He was selling hats and shirts left and right, man. It was nonstop.
How many big zips did he sell?
Oh, he almost sold out. People love that, right? And then what's cool about our off-road community, they love the Dirtbag brand and what it stands for. And Johnny's like, "Dude, these are my people." And I go, "Exactly." So he did really well out there at Trail here. I mean, he was giving water to dogs that were walking by, because it was like 105 degrees on Saturday at the trade show. Okay,
it wasn't that hot.
It was. I heard from locals it was 105. I knew it was hot. I didn't think it was 105 hot, but it was fucking hot. And people were looking for shade and stuff, and these poor dogs walking on asphalt, and Johnny's giving the dogs water. He's giving kids stickers. He's working the crowd, man. He was friends with the barbecue booth across the street from us. Yeah, he did well. It was a lot of fun. And Rob Khaleesi, the owner of Element Fire Extinguisher.
Right.
I spoke with him prior. He was out at King of the Hammers and got to see that shit show. And I said, "Hey,
that's a way to call it."
I go, "Hey, Trail Heroes coming up. We got to talking. He goes, "Hey, I'd like to come out for that." And I'm like, "Yeah, come out. Trade shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday." He goes, "Okay, I can make that work." So he was there all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday till 1 p.m. And him and Johnny hit it off. They were talking racing and everything.
Yeah.
So they're best friends now. They're better friends than Rob and I are now, apparently.
Perfect.
Which is good. So anyways, he was there answering questions, educating people about the element.
Awesome.
So that was super cool. He got to see that event, and he had a blast. He goes, "This is great. Great event, great people. A lot of great questions, and anyways, it was a good event for him to see." And I said, yeah, this is more family friendly in a cleaner environment than KOH. KOH is great. I love KOH. I won't miss KOH, but it's a different deal. You just got to know, it's not for everybody.
KOH is a free for all.
As the trail chasers would say, they don't get anywhere near Hammertown. So
Hammertown's actually kind of a safe zone. It's the outskirts of Hammertown.
You're right. You got security in Hammertown.
They've got
you don't have
wrong.
security outside the gates.
Hammertown's actually good. It's Hammertown, its outskirts. You're fucked.
It is. So yeah, really, really cool. So made a lot of good contacts and getting to talk to people, and it was fun. It was fun meeting fans of the podcast there, and
that's cool.
I love it. What else? Man, just lots.
The concerts and music that was on. How many different shows were there?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So Uncle Cracker was Thursday. Saving Abel Friday. POD Saturday.
POD.
So from our camp, we could hear everything loud and clear. I didn't go to the Thursday or Friday night concert. I was up on the roof of my camper and watched both shows. In and out, but it was great. And then, of course, they have opening bands, and DJ Trust is there, and they got the crew, the dance crew that puts on a little show pre-party. Yeah, it's cool. But I was like, I'm not missing POD. POD they've been around for 30 years. I didn't know they'd been around that long.
Wow.
But I am that old, apparently. So Big Pete, myself. Oh shit! Who else was with us?
Did you have VIP?
Well, yeah, we know people. We had VIP, so we didn't get like front row, but we were able to walk in, and I was, we said, okay, let's go for like 5-6 songs, just kind of dive in, dive out. And we got in, and we were right by the sound and camera guys and the lighting guys. So we watched the sound guy work the big freaking table with 9,000 knobs and buttons and levers and stuff. And then the lighting guy was next to him. It's incredible, man. It was cool to watch. And the lighting guy, of course, it's all computerized now, and he's got the computer screens and
they have programs. They just macros. And
it was cool. So Johnny was with us, and he's dirtbag music and everything. So he actually was talking to a couple of the guys from POD earlier that day in the booth.
No shit. The band.
Oh yeah,
members?
he's got connections. He knows people.
Well, that's where we got our music. So yeah.
Right. So it was great. It was they played all the popular songs. They had a couple new songs. It was a cool concert. Dave Wong came over. He's like, "Hey, we're in the front row. If you want to come on up." I'm like, "No, we're good here." It was loud. I mean, they Monster Energy stage was on point, man. They had the music blaring, and I'm like, "No, I'm good here. I don't need to get any closer."
That's a benefit of being partially deaf, I guess, for me.
I guess, yeah. But that was a great capper of the evening. It's the Saturday night into the event. We're leaving early Sunday morning. So it was like, I got back to camp. I was exhausted. As you know, being in that booth, I don't know how Johnny does it. He was in that booth for 12 plus hours in the heat. and it's mentally, physically exhausting.
You have to be on. I mean, just
you got to be on.
I've been in the booth. I mean, working the booth at KOH for a bit when down there with Morphlate Sean, and it was just, and then the working. I mean, it's completely different. I have to imagine from working the trade show at Trail Hero, but also at Sierra Trek, working our booth that one year that Johnny came up. It's like trying to sell shirts and big zips and fire extinguishers and stickers and koozies and so forth and so on, and have a smile on your face and shaking hands and or kissing babies and shaking
or signing
hands
stickers.
Or other things, other body parts, but yeah.
Whoa, hey.
But I mean, yeah, I can imagine this, and then you add into the weather. If you said it was 105 or even 100 degrees, and you're in a hot parking lot, that's got to be like just sucks the life out of you, man.
Dude, he had a 20 by 30 spot, I think it was, and he had 2 big easy ups. I mean, it was legit. An ice chest, like I say, with little mini bottles of water he was handing out, and I just. Yeah, my hat's off to him. He worked it. He this is not his first rodeo. He does all these big trade shows at these big music concerts and stuff and festivals, and he loves the Trail Hero event. He's like, dude, this is so good, and like I say, these are my people, and they there was one family that came in and bought, I don't know, it was over $500 worth of dirtbag gear.
Really?
And they came back a couple more times. They came back on Saturday and bought more stuff. Oh yeah, they outfitted the whole family.
They need to have Wheeling Wine and Whiskey
right
ensemble garb.
So anyways, he kicked ass and definitely and thanks to Rob, because I was out wheeling. I said, I'll be in the booth Saturday, but I got a wheel. And
got a wheel, man. I got a wheel.
We did a lot of wheeling. It was fun. Our camp, so we had, our normal group there, and Christina the Huntress and Jonathan was there. Like I say, Wrecked Gear, Randy Slauson, the whole Hannah clan, and the new married in family there, Brooke and her family, Roger and all them, Logan, and then Tom and Lenny were new to the mix, and they had a blast. Of course, James and Rhonda. We had Tara, Road and Reverie from Instagram. She was there at the very end of camp.
Okay.
We had Dang Brothers Pizza fucking truck in our camp, dude.
I know. I saw that. That was the wedding, the fire truck. Yeah.
The wedding was Sunday afternoon. At the base of the chute, there's this huge plateau that overlooks the lake. It's a spectacular spot. My first year at Trail Hero, we got up to this spot after climbing up 777s, and 777s double Sammy end up here at this plateau amongst a lot of other trails, and it's just a cool spot. So they got married up there.
Cool.
Glenn and Kimberly Blake are there at this wedding, and I'm like, I want. If I ever get married, I want Glenn and Kimberly Blake at my wedding, But it was just cool. Everybody wheeled up to this point. They had the wedding, and then we all went out up the chute and back to camp. And then Dang Brothers Pizza was there catering the event. They had salad and their pizza, and I don't know, I must have had 15 slices of pizza that night. It was so damn good. They had this like hot honey chili sauce. Holy crap. I took a picture of it. I got to find it. It's got to be on Amazon. But putting that on a slice of pizza was so good. So they left the Dang Brothers
for your old pizza oven. You're missing.
Yeah, I do miss my pizza oven. That is one thing I miss. That and the waterfall. But whatever. There's a lot of other positives that outweigh all that stuff.
Right.
So they said, "Hey, can we leave the fire engine in camp?" And we're like, I guess, if you want to. So the fire engine stayed in camp. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Wednesday's when we drove it to the gala.
I saw that. That was crazy.
Huntress drove.
Yeah, Christina was driving it.
Oh my God. Tyler rolled into camp. Of course, Justin and Kelly were there, Ozzy, and they had their green suits. Kelly was in this green sequence. It was a nice dress. Dolly had these, red with a white polka dot, Jesse Combs dresses that the Huntress wore. Amber, everybody. I think Dara had one too. It was hilarity. It just was so much fun. And Christina's driving this fire truck out, through Sand Hollow. Sirens blaring. People are pulling over like it's a real fire truck, like clear the road. I'm like, we are going to get frickin' arrested right now.
Perfect.
Impersonating a frickin', safety vehicle here.
First responders. Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to get busted for that.
So then we met up with one of the guys from Dang Brothers. He drove the fire engine back after we went to the gala. But I'll tell you, we definitely made an entrance there in the gala with our operation.
So that was interesting too, because before you guys went down to Trail Hero, to kind of talking about Tyler and the bright green suit that he was wearing and Ozzy. I thought Tyler was flying down. I didn't realize he was driving.
He was down. Until he bought a F-350 dually to drive down.
I got you. So he changed. That was the whole change in plans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
well, that's cool.
He bought the enclosed trailer, and Ozzy towed that down, which they had at the trade show, which worked out great. And then, Tyler bought the pickup, and he goes, yeah, I'm driving now. So he towed his Toyota out there, the new Bullfrog, we're going to call it. It's not Kermit anymore. It's a Bullfrog.
It's pretty beastie.
It's beefed up. It's pretty badass for a Toyota. And
he's working on raising that thing up pretty quick, though.
Yeah, it is. It's inevitable because it can go where anywhere you want to go, but it's going to cause some body damage. Yeah, you don't want body panels, man. The buggy's the way to go.
Full body buggy.
So as it was, I think Ozzy pulled his body panels off, the sheet metal off his rig because he was nervous about scratching it. I ran my body panels all week. I did put a couple new scratches in the hood. In the hood, mind you, that's the kind of extreme wheeling we were doing.
So let's talk about that real quick. Because that's something you and I haven't had a discussion about is carnage. I saw that, obviously Tom Rosa broke and Lenny broke.
Yeah, he had the radiator. Lenny had an axle.
What was your level? Did you have any carnage or you unscathed?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
A starter.
That's
a
it?
Starter. That's it. A fucking starter. The Bindex, so those of you that know about starters, so there's the coil that pushes the starter gear into the flywheel.
Correct.
It's called the Bindex. And when I was towing Tom back when he had the non-consensual relationship between his fan and radiator.
Did you call that rape?
Yeah, it was. His fan raped the radiator.
Oh
Fully
my God.
raped it. He popped
Charges
the hood.
Need to be pressed.
He popped the hood and he goes, oh, we can fix that. And I started looking at it and it was like into the second core, second row. And I go, no, we don't have enough pepper or needle nose pliers to clog this shit up. We're done. I'm towing you back to camp. I'm going to find an easy way back to camp. And we did. I towed him back. But as I was towing him back to camp, I heard what I thought was a rear U-joint going out. It was squeaking and ticking. And I'm like, God, that sounds like a U-joint. But it was kind of inconsistent.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm listening. It's bugging the shit out of me because, you're got mechanical sympathy for your rig and you're listening and you're like, that doesn't sound right. So we get him back to camp, unhook him, and I go out right next to camp, and I'm running forward and reverse, and James is listening, and we're trying to figure it out, and I'm like, dude, it's independent of the wheels turning. It's not a differential. It's not a ring and pinion. It's not a U-joint. It's something in the engine. And then I go, or transmission, and I go, no, it's on the side with the starter. So anyways, long story short, I go, I think the starter gear's hanging up, and it's the original starter from when I bought it. I have no idea how old the starter is, but I've had a brand new starter as a spare because, just like the Jeep automatic transmission, you can't push start those things. So I always carry a spare starter. So I go into my box of tricks there and pull out a brand new starter and bolted it in. And problem solved. Never heard it again. So that was it. Let's see. James had some wheel bearings go out because he bought a buggy from Arkansas in mud and water, and it left the chat. Those bearings were gone. One spindle was totally fucking gone. The other spindle, good old Bill Brooks, he came in. I forgot to mention Bill. Bill bought a brand new. He went from Samurai to an extreme rock bouncer-esque buggy. Mm-hmm. Brand new engine. It fucking, V8 sound cool. His V8 was uncorked and sounded super cool.
Really?
Yeah. It was cool, and he was smart about the week. I'm like, come on out with this. Well, I don't want to run the hard shit. I want to get used to this buggy. You got to learn this shit, right? And he did. And towards the end of the week, he was doing some extreme stuff with that buggy and fully capable and dialing it in. And Randy was helping him with the shocks, and it's super cool. The talent in our camp is unbelievable, right? To just fix shit. Know about stuff and whatever. It's just, I love it. And everybody contributes somehow, some way. And anyways, so James, rebuilt his whole front end. And I swore he had, in my mind, he had already gone through the front end and redid all the front wheel bearings.
Well, but that wouldn't be a trail run if James wasn't wrenching on his shit.
Right? But it's a way less now with the buggy. And had he done that initially, he wouldn't have had to do shit to that buggy. It's solid. So now he's golden. Let's see, who else? What other break? Oh, Randy had a transmission cooler blow. The actual cooler itself sprung a leak.
Really?
But he fixed that. He found another cooler in town and had that back up and running in Gold Digger. I can't think of anything else.
Interesting carnage, but not. And you didn't roll over. Lorenzo didn't drive it and roll it over.
Right. I'll tell you, we had some extreme stuff. I got close a couple times. I had wheels up in the air, which is rare for that buggy, but when you do, it's getting pretty hardcore. James did a great job. He pushed the limits, and with that buggy, it's fun to see him in a buggy now where he has the power and the traction to make things happen. So another story, towards the end of the week, I was like mentally, physically exhausted. It's like go. And then love it, hate it, whatever. I don't know. But, it's like Dolly and I are the point people for camp. And it's like people ask you questions nonstop. Hey, what about this? Where are we going here? What's for dinner tonight? What's the, and it's like, I love organizing the shit, but there comes a point where you just get exhausted, and I was exhausted.
It's no. Maybe it's different, but my impression of it is it's not any different than KOH, and because KOH is 9 times of chaos, all sorts of chaos, and then everybody comes together for breakfast and dinner. Right, lunch is on your own, and I have to imagine it's kind of the same routine at Trail Hero. That's my impression.
I think I ate breakfast twice because we were out wheeling in the morning. But anyways, yeah. And so we were talking that night and said, okay, where are we going tomorrow and stuff? And I go, I'm not driving. I went up to Randy and I go, hey, can I ride with you? Do you have a right seat open in Gold Digger? He's like, yeah. And he goes, but why don't you wheel? And I go, I'm done. I don't want to. I just want to ride. I've never ridden with you in Gold Digger.
That might
And
be
I want to see what it's like to ride with Randy motherfucking Slauson in a four-steer buggy, right? And he's like, okay. And I go, hey, in all fairness, if you get a better offer for a right seat, you can take it, but I'll ride with you if not. So we went out the next morning and I rode right seat with him, and it was a fucking blast, man. We went up to Sandthrax, and Sandthrax, I think, is a 9 or 10 rated trail. Honestly, I think it's 11 is how I would rate the trail for definitely for a drag axle. So James, Bronson, and Jess in their four-steer buggy, wrecked gear. Randy, Gold Digger.
Which is a four-steer buggy.
We had Tom. Tom at that point was broken, so he just decided to ride right seat the rest of the trip. It was towards the end of the week. So he rode with Lenny, and Lenny came up there and got to the first obstacle and said, no. It was not.
That's a hard no?
It was a hard no. So he turned around. Virgil was there that runs with wreck gear all the time, and that, it's a white buggy with Toyota. He just put four-steer in that.
Okay.
Virgil's great. So we go, this first obstacle was like this crack, and then it made like a hard left and go up. And, of course the four-steer buggies didn't walk it, but, made short work of it, let's say.
Sure.
And then James got in there and got all twisted up, and he had to get winched. But after doing all the other obstacles of Sandthrax, he could have made it through there. He just was like, I'm done, just get me out of here. Got him out of there. So
wow.
But it was fun riding with Randy and watching that buggy work. I mean, it's like Gold Digger just flat out fucking works, right? It's a cross between an Ultra 4 car and a trail. It's a trail bomber on high. It's four-steer trail bomber, right? And it's super comfortable. The engine's sitting right in front of you. You got visibility for fucking days on all four tires.
Well, and it's a simple car. I mean, it's everything's simple in those things.
It is.
I mean, I'll go back and remind the listeners that I rode with Eric Wicks in his trail bomber, I guess it's going on 3 years ago at this point.
Has it been that long?
I think it has.
Oh, shit.
But, I mean, those rigs, they just freaking... And Eric Wicks trail bomber is a drag axle, but, I mean, the thing's still badass as badass gets.
Nice.
And, obviously riding being a passenger with a professional race car driver, Ultra 4 race car driver, there's something special about that. So
yeah,
I would definitely, I'm not, I know I've had offers to take a ride in an Ultra 4 car, at King of the Hammers. And I quite frankly, at this point, my back just wouldn't be able to handle it no matter what. But, I mean, I know that riding with Eric from Winch Hill 5 back to Meadow Lake, to the campground at Meadow Lake, that's that. And I know I've said it before in the show, that was the quickest trip I've ever made from Winch Hill 5 to the campground. I think it was less than 5 minutes.
His 4,400 car's for sale. You could buy it.
Oh yeah, let me jump right on that. I think he wants $130 for it or something.
Yeah, 130. 130.
Yeah, let me jump right on that. I'll write a check. Hey, Eric, check's in the mail.
I'm telling you though, if you had that kind of cash and wanted to race KOH, that would be a hell of a fucking car to have.
Fuck
right?
Yeah, the car's turnkey and it's dialed and it's been prepped and it's ready
dialed.
to go.
I hate to see him sell
prep.
it. I have yet to speak with him, but
what's going on?
I don't know. Life happens and stuff, and it's a lot of money. I get it, but I hate to see him get out of racing, but That car is fucking bad. It's a bad bitch, as he says. It's a bad bitch.
It's a bad bitch. No, we've certainly crawled around that car and whatnot. So that's we got to get that story. We need to get Eric back on the show.
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him going. But yeah, so it was just fun riding with Randy and talking with him, and it's funny because we were following Bronson and Jess, and Bronson's very calculated. He wheels like I do. He's like slow and calculated and everything, where Randy's a little more ultra four, like
Wild West.
Hit it with your purse. We're gonna, but he's super calculated as well. It's a different type of calculated, though. It's a faster calculated, and God, it was just fun. And there was like this one rock hill to go up, and Bronson's like, force steering it, working back and forth and slipping and sliding and working up and slipping, sliding, and finally backs up and gives it a little juice, and he climbs up, and Randy looks at me and he goes, "We're going to hit this with the purse." And I go, "Oh yeah." So it's like, all right.
Throw the credit card on the dash.
Shoulder straps are tight. Let's go. And he just, pops right up it. And anyways, good stuff. Lots of fun, because all these people were riding with Randy throughout the week. And I was like, dude, I want to go for a ride. So, part of me was a little remiss for not trying some of these obstacles and on Sandthrax with them. But I had a blast riding with him and getting to see what a four-steer buggy does, a bomber chassis and these this hard-ass trail.
It's also a different perspective. I mean, you see
it totally
things
is.
when you're a passenger
Totally
versus a driver. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, look, I know we're not going to talk about this in this episode, but I mean, just driving to when we went down to the wedding, in Arizona for Shannon Campbell and Jess, you were a passenger that whole trip, and I'm sure you were kind of just reveling in it. It's like, you probably saw things that I never got a chance to observe when we're driving through the desert, the Arizona desert and the high altitude areas. But I mean, it's a whole different perspective. I mean, when I'm a passenger, my wife is driving, and I'll be like, just driving along 580 here in Dublin, Livermore. And I'll be like, shit, I never saw that before.
It's much more relaxed. You don't have to worry if shit breaks or whatever. It's not your rig. I don't care. No, it is. It's like, it's cool. And when and watching James, so this one obstacle, I don't know if it has a particular name, but it was very difficult. Nobody walked it in our group, and James got in there, drag axle, the only drag axle in this group, and he is not afraid to put tires on anything, which I admire. And he got in there and worked it, and he started getting frustrated. And part of it was, I mean, you got Bronson there and Randy Slauson, and even Virgil was like giving advice, but he couldn't hear. He had his headset on. He had his Rugged Radio's headset on and stuff. And I'm like, dude, watch somebody. Just pick somebody and watch one person, because there's so many opinions going on. And so anyways, he was getting in there and he was frustrated, and shut it off a couple times and reset, and okay, let's try this. And then he's like, okay, I'm done. And we're like, dude, you are so fucking close. And Bronson wanted to see him do it, right? We all wanted to see him do it. And I could see, I mean, I've known James for a long time, and I'm like, he's hit his limit. We call it security. It's like, okay, security, shut it down. But he's like backing out, and the rear end fell right where we wanted it to be. And we're like, dude, forward, just go forward right now. And he fucking went forward and walked right up. It lined up perfect, right? I always say it's a game of inches for wheeling, but this was a game of fucking millimeters, dude. This particular obstacle for a drag axle was tough.
Oh, you can't go metric on us. You need to stay in inches.
Yeah, he made it, and he was so fucking. All of us were excited. It was so good, but there was times I will tell you, he was so bound up. Like, all of us have, Bronson, Randy, Virgil, myself are all there watching, and Jess and everybody, right? And we all know rock crawling and our rigs and stuff. And he was so bound at times. And James knows as well because he's an equipment operator. He has mechanical sympathy. But there was times when we were all putting our arms over our head waiting for a fucking U-joint or an axle to fucking shoot out from under his rig.
To hear that sound of
we were
not
waiting.
Sound.
We were waiting for the snap. We were waiting for shit to just shit itself out the back, whatever, because he was so undercut and bound at times. And it's just like, and James knew it, right? Like he'd give it a little gas and he's like, I don't like this, and we're like, okay, well, you're online, give it a shot, and it's like, and he backed out of it because he's like, nope, this isn't going to end well. So it was interesting and fun and all this stuff when you get into those situations.
You got to learn your rig. I mean, I'll go back to that time you and I were on Outer Limits and your buggy, it was your first year with the buggy down at King of the Hammers, and we were all
wadded up
that notch, and you were like just being squeezed, and you jumped out and you're like, you looked at it, you walked around it, and you said, well, one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to break or
we're going to make it.
We're going to make it.
Well, and that's the thing, it's like, freaking wrecked gear, his buggy is running freaking high-end shit. Of course, Slauson's got Spider Tracks high-end shit, all these, and here James and I are running these Junkyard Dog axles, we got good quality parts, but we're not running the heavy duty shit.
Right.
And turning 40s, James had a little bit of water in his tires. I've got a lot of bit of water in my tires. And it's fun watching Randy look at this thing like, I don't know how you're fucking doing this without snapping axles, but so far so good, knock on wood. But
there you go.
Anyways, just cool shit.
Good trip, huh?
I don't know any other stories popping off right now other than I got to meet Pete's friends, Steve and Craig Stump. Steve he's like the mad scientist, as Pete says. He's got a side-by-side, single-seat side-by-side. He competed in the side-by-side race that they had up the hill.
Okay. He
made it up. A lot of them ended up on their fucking side and lid climbing up, but he's got like 60-plus patents, and he's building this gear reduction unit portal. It's not a true portal that gives you lift and everything, but it's a gear reduction unit for these side by sides. Interesting guy. I want to get him on the podcast and pick his brain. Craig Stump's he's like the rock crawling. He started rock crawling events and cut a lot of those trails out there at Trail Hero, Sand Hollow.
Is he local or no?
I cannot confirm or deny.
Okay.
Ask me more questions I don't know the answer to.
Well, if he spends that much time there, I got to figure he's pretty close by.
I think he is. I don't know. I'm going to say yes for 500, Alex.
Okay.
But it's just, anyways, it's just this event, to sum it up, I hate to use the cliche of the who's who of our arena, our rock sports arena, but it's true. It is. It's like, pick somebody and they were there. And it's just cool that event has gotten to that spot. Yeah, see, there you go. You got the Trail Hero plaque. Nice. So there's something for everybody. You don't have to be extreme rock crawler to go out there and have fun. Hell, if you just go out there and just go to the concerts and hang out in people's camps and go to the events, you're going to have a blast. The trade show was unbelievable this year. Anything and everything was at the trade show. I can't say enough good things about it. Rich Klein has created this monster, and it's supported by the community very well. They're creating a lot of dollars for the local economy there of St. George and Hurricane.
Great cause too.
Yes, the veterans, the whole premise of this thing is getting access to wounded warriors and veterans and disabled children and everything. And it's good. You can't say anything bad about it. And the town is so welcoming. It's what Moab used to be, old Easter Jeep Safari used to be. And I hope this continues for a long time. And just like anything, as events get really big, then there's a bunch of people that get pissed off, whatever. But I hope this continues for a long time. I'm going to keep going. It's just a solid freaking event.
That's great.
So... yeah, I'm sure I'm missing a few things, but
you'll think of stuff in future episodes. I'm sure
it's all good. We're hour and 20 into this bad boy, and we'll put a bow on this one.
Right on. Well, I'm glad you had a great time. I definitely want to make it down there. I know that it's on my bucket list, and just things have been. It's just like I said. I changed jobs.
Adulting sucks.
2 years ago. Adulting sucks, but changing jobs 2 years ago kind of impacted my vacation schedule and all that stuff. So things are improving. Things are getting back on an even keel. That's awesome. So hopefully, I definitely will be down at King of the Hammers. That's my jam. That's what I love to do. But like I said, things are getting back on an even keel for me. So super cool. Want to make it down there to Trail Hero 2024. Hopefully it'll be on my agenda for next year. In the meantime, that's awesome synopsis of what you were up to, and glad you had a good time. Glad you got to spend time with friends and famous people.
One more thing I will say, traveling through Nevada to get there, James and Rhonda and I and Bill Brooks met up with us. He came to my house. I was talking to him when he was driving from the Washington-Oregon border, and he goes, I go, hey, where you at? No, I'm so-and-so. And I go, where are you stopping tonight? He goes, I'm not sure. I'm like, well, you're welcome to come to Minden. He's like, well, hang on a second. And he punches it in. He goes, yeah, that'll work. So he ended up driving to my house and backed in the driveway, and we all took off together, met up with James and Rhonda, and we headed down through Nevada, 95 and out. And it's just a great drive through Nevada instead of the shithole of the south of California. So that was a lot of fun traveling with them down there.
You're going to miss out on Harris Ranch and all that shit.
No, you know what? We found better places. Did you see the bomber photo with all the bombs at that Terribles? That was pretty cool. We saw a lot of cool stuff at
Geiger counter. You might want to have a Geiger counter.
No, Beatty. No, we didn't do the extraterrestrial highway. I do want to do that next time. But Randy and Amber did that. But the Beatty, Nevada is where all the wild burros are. And then there's
people.
Yeah, there's asses running around that town. And we had late breakfast, early lunch there on the way back at this Mexican restaurant that was awesome.
Was it a taxidermy shop too?
No, there was no taxidermy there. It wasn't like the one by KOH.
Barstow.
Barstow. It was Barstow. Yeah, that place is good too. But we did stop the first night, Thursday night. We stopped, like 20, 30 miles outside of Vegas, called Moapa Indian Reservation Casino. Yeah, exactly. And dude, it was awesome because it was like very KOHS. It is like, I think, Nevada's largest fireworks stand.
Oh, perfect.
It's in this huge tent. And so you could buy fireworks in these. It's a big truck stop, and so these truckers buy these fireworks, and you can shoot them off in the parking lot. So we're sitting out there. We just got there. We pour ourselves a little, welcome to Nevada drink, and we're almost to Trail Hero, and we're sitting on James's trailer and looking out, and there's these truckers firing off fireworks. I go, God, this is just like KOH,
right? That's cool.
So we may or may not have partaken in some firework purchases for KOH. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Upper Hammertown site Heights is going to be booming this year. Next year. So, yeehaw.
All right.
Well, anyway, so is that it? You got anything else?
That's it. That's on. I'm done.
All
I'm not
right.
going to talk anymore. I'm not talking. No more talking.
If you want... Jesus, if you like what you're hearing and you want to continue hearing it, you can support the show directly by going to irate4x4.com, and you can sign up for free. It's free to sign up to have an account with Irate 4x4.
Irate 4x4. Austin Priest.
But if you want to support the show, we certainly, it's not required, but certainly appreciate it. You can go to Watch, Listen, and Discuss, and you'll see that Wheeling Wine Whiskey is listed there, and you can see all of our episodes. There's discussion groups in the forums, and on the right side of the screen, underneath our big logo, you can click on your different tiers of to support the show. $5, $10, $20, either monthly or annually. It's not required, but it would certainly be appreciated. And then don't forget about the giveaway. Jason's going to talk about it right meow.
Oh, the Factor 55 Pro Link that is in Army Green limited edition. Cannot buy it anymore because it is the military has said, hey, you can't produce any more of those for the public. But this thing's badass.
Or trademarked or something.
Well, whatever. I want to keep it for myself. But thank you to Stellar Built. Dimitri at Stellar Built donated that to us when I went down there and interviewed with him and got my truck worked on. I'll tell you, that truck is like brand new now. That steering is tight. It is like brand new.
Fords need a lot of work, man.
Yeah, well, when it's got 100,000 miles on it, your Dodge won't even make it to 100,000 miles. So there you go.
Solid. Are you kidding me?
So Factor 55 Pro Link. Go to the IG post. It's got Lorenzo sitting on a redwood block there,
impaled
with the Pro Link and the Stellar Built picture, little sticker there, and all you got to do is like Stellar Built, like Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, which you already are doing on IG, and tag 3 friends in the comments, and you are entered to win.
Hopefully, you all have 3 friends.
What did I say? $157, $159 value?
Over $150. That's for sure.
This is serious shit. This is no little fly-by-night operation here. So
makes your recovery operation safer.
Yeah. So our next podcast, the October 31st podcast, we will announce the winner. So get in before.
Days. Spooky.
Get in before. Are you going trick-or-treating?
Of course, I always go trick or treating. I'm gonna dress up as a latrine.
What?
No. People, I've been seeing things on Instagram about people making costumes, and something popular this year appears to be outhouses. Making their a costume of an outhouse, and they open the door. It's like a miniature door, and you open it up, and a guy's got like fake legs, and he's
sitting on the John.
Sitting on the John, yeah, that's funny. Anyway, all right, so sign up for the giveaway on IG, okay. And then if you want to get a hold of Jason or Chris, me, the other guy on the other side of the screen here,
that they can't see.
Jason at wheelingwinewhiskey.com.
There you go.
Chris
Thanks for clarifying.
At wheelingwinewhiskey.com. That's our email addresses. And of course, Lorenzo's out there too at wheelingwinewhiskey.com. You can also go to our website, which is wheelingwinewhiskey.com, and you'll see all of our past episodes. And there's links in there for the merch store where you can see, and I'm going to say it because the Thanksgiving and Christmas are right around the corner.
It's so crazy, yes.
Isn't it though?
No,
so get your orders in. Get your orders in so if your loved ones can have cool merch underneath the Christmas tree.
You can buy Halloween candy and a Christmas tree at Costco right now.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's stupid. Home Depot and Lowe's are the same way. So, and lastly, never ever forget about our phone number where you can leave a voicemail, and most likely will get played on the air. That number is 408-800-5169. That's 408-800-5169. And leave a message, and we'll play it back. And, well, we'll probably, most likely it'll get played back. Keep it relatively clean.
800-5169. Yeah, you just, be cool. There's some people that are just, blabbering, and we're like, no, we do that. We get paid to do that.
That's
we don't get paid to do that.
Well,
but
we don't get paid. We don't get paid. So anyway, great recap, Jason. Thank you for sharing with all of us your adventures down at Trail Hero. That's awesome.
It was great. I can't wait for next year already.
Only 11 months away.
All right. And with that,
we are out.